Well, we did it. Well, not really fully done it, but I mean, it kind of looks done, at least from your guys' perspective right now.
So before we get into this, we're not experts on railing, we're not contractors here explaining code, and we're definitely not here pretending we know everything. We're just two brothers doing something we've never done before at a scale that actually matters and figuring it out along the way. And this loft railing was one of those moments. So Katie told me early on that she didn't want any red tones in this house, like at all. So naturally, we built half of this place out of red oak. Structurally, red oak made sense, price-wise, availability, strength, all of that. Visually though, it wasn't going to work unless we did something about it. Now, neither Tanner nor I had ever bleached wood before. I'd seen it done, I knew it existed, but we'd never personally done it. So this is our origin story.
Black glasses are on. Must be mixed. Really childproof them.
So originally this was going to be a one-part video, bleach, Rubio install, and done. Instead, it turned into a two-part series because the details here mattered way more than we expected. Those details actually had us running down a few different rabbit holes before we ever even touched bleach. We didn't just wake up one day and decide, yeah, let's bleach wood today. We looked at different options, read a bunch of reviews, watched a whole lot of YouTube videos, and eventually that led us to trying stains first. Specifically speaking, green stains, because on the color spectrum, green can help cancel out reds. And in theory, that made sense, but in reality, it just was not consistent enough. So eventually, we settled on this Dali's two-part bleach. And actually, the process is rather simple. After mixing equal parts, apply the bleach with a brush, working with the grain. You let that dry for around 20 minutes, then recoat as needed and allow it to sit for around 8 hours or more to fully cure. Once it's fully dry, you neutralize everything with clean water and a sponge. And after that, you just finish it off with a light sanding. So let's get these stairs in the shop and let them cure.
Hey, I get to talk. Like Logan said, this was originally a single video, but in hindsight we had to two-part it like the Russo brothers working on Avengers. What you're seeing now is Logan bleaching the bullnosing for the loft, which you will see in this video. And it's quite astonishing how you can bleach literally anything these days. Wood, laundry, orifices, even pop singers. I digress. Now on to the null post, which you also will see in this video. YouTube allows viewers to immerse themselves in any content creator's day-to-day life, but without the hassle of doing the task itself. Bleaching was a 2-day process, not only due to dry times, but each of the pieces having multiple visible sides to the public, leading to bleaching in the morning and Logan coming out late at night to neutralize.
Alright, we're back. This is day 2. This is after bleaching. The red oak now actually kind of resembles white oak a little bit, which is what we were going for. We have to sand these down because they get a little bit of a fuzzy feeling to them after the bleach. So we're going to sand them down to 180, prep them for Rubio, get Rubio on them today because we received a phone call last Friday from our flooring company and they're coming out Thursday to do our carpet upstairs. So this bullnosing needs to be installed along with trim and some other things. And the good news is we've never done this before. So we really should be very proficient at getting it done by then. So wish us luck.
Sanding wasn't just for knocking down that fuzzy feel after bleaching that Logan mentioned earlier. It was to soften the edges, open the grain, and make these pieces look like they were built by us instead of having Lowe's deliver them. You know, add that touch of spice over the machined look, and the Rubio finish tied it all together. Logan and myself went with the natural color after a few test pieces. Now you've seen Rubio time and time again, so no, we don't have footage in this video, but there's always that moment when you really question if it's going to be consistent. Is it going to pull those white oak tones? Is it going to look like the test piece? And to answer that, yes. Yes, it did. Now after the Rubio finish, it was time to install. We had our sigh of relief before we entered hell. Not foreshadowing that this install was bad, because it truly wasn't. But it was our first time ever doing anything like this. We aren't contractors, we're novice woodworkers, and we work in the medical field, so wish us luck.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. King Craft Studios here. This is Tanner talking. Logan's behind the camera. He doesn't like talking head. But what I'm here to talk to you today about is we're setting up for our bullnosing. It's going over the lofted area. It's decorative. It's for the railing and handrails. So we're marking it out. We have a piece of bullnosing over in the corner there that we're kind of locking in, marking. We're going to chalk it out, get everything measured and prepped so we look like we know what we're doing, when in reality we really don't. This is all in preparation for the carpeting people to come in and hopefully get everything done Thursday and Friday of this week. It's currently Saturday, so TikTok.
Fill you in, we don't really know what we're doing because again, we've never done stairs before, so this is our first time tackling it. But we have done furniture, and with such, we do have somewhat of an idea that we think will work. So what we're gonna do is we have it all mapped out. That was the math we just did for our centers. We're gonna notch these out to 3 1/4 inch. These newel posts are 3 1/2 inch. We'll take an 1/8 inch rabbet then off each side. That way, whenever we lay these in there, we'll have a nice, clean, tight line versus trying to cut it out at 3 1/2 and getting this to set in there just perfectly. It'd be hopefully a lot cleaner in the long run. It is a little bit more work, but hopefully it's worth it. And then from there, we'll come over here to our subflooring, and to make these structurally sound, we have it all mapped out. You can see right there, we'll use an oscillating tool. We'll cut out the subflooring, and then actually we'll end up notching these to then fall in that opening with the bull nose under it, and then we'll secure it from the outside drywall using some sort of structural screw going in through the LVL into this support beam. So in theory, it should work. It is our first time, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it worked. Well, this kind of worked so far. We don't know yet, but it's something.
So we have everything notched out here. Like you said, we're gonna fall into that LVL and we'll have to notch out our newel post. But in doing so, we can then send structural screws through the LVL into the newel post holding it, as well as it's notched in here. A little less that way, a little less that way. It'll be good.
So if you look down our first row, everything actually went better than planned, which is it's really not normal for us here at Kingcraft, but it did. So we think that we're gonna be able to make the newel post actually relatively sound for those first 4. However, we came here to this corner beam and we've discovered that it is at least a double LVL in this corner. So now it's a matter of running it back that way to see if it's a double LVL the entire length or if it's just right here where the two intersect. If it is, then we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do. Wish us luck. Well, it was a double LVL the entire way around, and so it kind of ruined our entire plan. But I think we might have thought of a new one. I don't know if it'll work, but we're gonna try it probably. I'm gonna sit on it for the next couple days while I'm at work and think about it. But essentially what we're gonna try doing is, we know that this is a 12-inch thick LVL going down, obviously. So we're gonna take an inch bit and we'll drill down into it, and then we're gonna take a piece of all thread and drill up into the base of one of our newel posts. We'll secure it in with some construction adhesive or some sort of epoxy. So basically we'll have a foot worth of an all thread going down into the LVLs, and then probably a foot or 2 foot going up into the actual no post itself. And in theory it should help hold, and then once it's all tied together it should still be fairly sound, I would think. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. All right. In case brad nails aren't enough, because we don't know what we're doing, we got some GRK trim head screws. We're gonna put them in. So we'll have brad nails, we'll have liquid nails, and we'll have GRK screws holding every bit of this bullnose on. It's not going effing anywhere. That's the hopes anyway. And the key is to put it into the LVL. A little putty won't fucking hide. I like how this is the one time you recorded.
You need help? Go ahead and say it.
I didn't say I could do it alone. You said, I'm gonna video you put the last one in.
Say you're gonna need help.
I'm gonna need help. Just tell everybody in the audience. I didn't need his help. He's behind the camera pointing stuff at me. But I hammered it in and it fits like a glove. If the glove was a size too small, but it's fine. We're gonna apply some liquid nail here, glue it down. Then I'm gonna shoot some brad nails and we're gonna call it for the day because this has been eventful.
That's how you want it to fit, tight. And then yeah, we can get a shim under it if need be.
I mean, I think we need it to
Okay.
go down so we can either pull this guy up.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Shim under that one.
Yeah, I got to pull up the first part there.
Okay.
Yeah, we can flex him. Do you want to try to come and pull that now?
I'm videoing.
It's good on him. I didn't buy it. Would you say you need help?
I need help.
Help has arrived.
All right, everybody, we are back here, day 2 of actually installing these stairs. Still not got a very good idea of what we're doing, but we're gonna wing it today. So today essentially is gonna consist of rabbiting out these newel posts and trying to get at least these first 4 installed. Whenever we hit the point where we hit the double LVL, we're gonna go from there. We bought some 7/8 all threads and we're gonna wing it. Wish us luck.
Alrighty, so with table saw being a table saw, it's not able to get fully through unless we were to cut more into our board. Would that be visible? Of course we don't want that. So we're gonna use Temple Tools flush cut saw here that I won at Workbench Con. Not a big deal, pretty big deal. So let's get it. That's the wrong side. Got one ways to go. Fun. Not very flush, but first timer.
All right, so we got the rabbits cut on all 3 sides on these. We're not doing the 4th side because this side is going to be flush with the back of the bullnosing. However, what we got marked out now is going to be our cutout to go around our LVL beam, and then this is our solid part that we will then be able to screw through the drywall, through the LVL, and into this newel post to actually make it hopefully structurally sound. But that's only time's going to tell. We happen to think there might be an easier way than cutting each of those newel posts, flipping it over, cutting it again, and trying to keep everything symmetrical. So it occurred to us that our dad had an antique Delta bandsaw. One cut, everything should be great. Got it up here, realized that the blade wasn't very tight, so we were gonna go tighten it, open it up, find out our dad, the antique connoisseur that he is, has a broken bandsaw and not able to tension the blade. So back to old school way it is. We're back. All of the single LVLs are in. They're not secured yet. We'll hopefully be doing that here later today. We have the double LVLs, and so essentially really the only main difference is we're going to cut these down just so they sit in there since they're not sliding all the way down. So we're going to cut them down to size, and then we'll do that same rabbiting process, and then hopefully get the remaining 5 posts in today. Get them all secured and see how it goes. So this one's already marked to the correct size. We'll get it chopped and go from there. We knew it was not drilling very straight. I just don't think we realized how unstraight it was drilling. Luckily, we caught it before it's too far gone. I think we're gonna find out. We're gonna stop drilling where it's at. It's close enough. We'll just cut that all thread down, and then we'll work on filling this and dealing with this later. You know how bolts work?
You know how weird of an angle it is?
Keep fucking friction.
You see what I'm seeing?
See how
That's how you remove a catheter from here in the morning.
Well, hi again. It's finally time to set the post. So these 4 on this run are all the ones that have a single LVL, so they're actually dadoed in and going down into this portion of the LVL. So what we'll do is we'll get ready to pull this. We're gonna load it up with some PL Premium. We'll stick it back in, and then eventually it's gonna get trimmed, so that's gonna be hiding. We'll mark a line, and then that's where our screws are gonna actually go through the LVL and into all these posts on this 4 of this run. In theory, it should be quite sound, in theory, so.
Yeah. They're also, they're rabbits, not...
Rabbits. Dado's rabbits. McAvoy or Stewart.
Alrighty, so after messing with that one, getting it fixed, it's in. We didn't film it. A lot of bad words were said. Not a lot of time passed though, so it's pretty odd. What we figured out though is using trim head screws, we're shooting them in back here to fasten it first, kind of. I really don't know how it's kind of staying stable and all that, but it is, and it's working, so we're not gonna jinx ourselves with it. We've since done it on all the remaining ones that we put in, and this is our last one that is without all thread in it, so it hopefully is the easiest, but yeah, hopefully these guys go smoother. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do with my hands. Let's get it.
Okay. I think we'll want something with downward pull.
Do we want to, I know, do we want to?
I think we'll want to peel this
Get that guy hammered in.
Hammer it in, and then peel.
Okay. Coming up. I thought you were about to do a.
What would you have done?
I would have been fearful of the bullnosing and your safety, but most of all the bullnosing.
Same. Oh yeah, hey, we're back with day 2. The first 5 posters set, and knock on wood, they're pretty sound. They're pretty sound. So I think I have a little more hope that it might actually work. We have 4 more posters set. We're gonna do it the same method, all threads, some PL premium, and in theory, should give it plenty of time to cure by tomorrow whenever all the carpet's coming. So we got a lot of work to get done. Follow along. That should all fill up semi-nice, in theory. She should be strong by the end of it, hopefully. As you can see, the beauty of YouTube is we're now inside. You didn't have to sit through any of that mineral spiriting or Rubio monocoat because you've already seen it. The process is the same. It's rather boring to watch, but it's all done. So now we're inside. We're gonna get ready to start pre-drilling for our balusters. We're not using the little boots, so actually what's gonna happen is we're gonna drill through. We don't have a mortising bit. So then we're gonna take the squares, and rather than chiseling it out or using a mortising bit, we're actually gonna hammer them in and use the square baluster as a chisel itself. We already did our measurements, so this whole first run is 66 3/4, so we can get 10 in there to get our 6-inch spacing. It's actually 6 1/16, right? So we'll get that marked up, we'll get it centered out, we'll start drilling after that, and hopefully, just hopefully, we can get some railing in here by the end of the weekend, and it might actually look like something that's a little safer than what I am right now, but that's that, so enjoy. We just finished all of the drilling of the bullnosing. However, there still is that amount to do for all of the handrails. So right now I have Tanner outside. He is working on cutting down all the balusters. They're gonna get cut down to 41 1/4. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take and hammer them in basically to make the square. It should be a nice clean look by the time it's all said and done. We'll pull them out, they'll get epoxied in place, get the handrail slapped on top, and the railing will be done for this. We'll still have the stairs to do, but we're getting closer every day. We're gonna start working on the balusters. So the way that we're doing this does not include boots. So a lot of times what'll happen is these will go in the holes and there'll be a decorative boot to hide everything. I just didn't like the decorative boot look. So the way that we're doing this, we actually ended up drilling a 1/2-inch hole all the way measured out, 4-inch on spacing, not 6, 4-inch on spacing. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our nice balusters. I have a square line drawn on these. So we're gonna hold them on the square line and actually hammer those in and make them work as a mortising chisel. And so essentially what it should do is give it a nice clean look all the way around. And we'll see, so. Where the hell is Thor when you need him? God. This is not going in my favor at all. I don't think I've got it literally budged. Got it. All right, handrails are cut down to size for their respective area where they're gonna go up top. Each of them were a 16th to an 1/8 off, so each railing is actually dependent on where it goes up top. So this is railing number 1. I went ahead and marked it out to match the spacing of the balusters up top. We're gonna center line them already, that's all done. I have to center punch them yet, and then we're gonna drill them out. Some brand new spade bits. So it should cut through relatively good. Only time will tell. I'm gonna do it in here. It's a little more quiet since Sander's still outside going ahead and chipping away at the balusters themselves. And not to mention, we have AC in here and a fan, so it really only makes sense. One down. Well, we finally made it. It is install day. It's a new morning, so we're hoping to get all 130 of these balusters installed up here in this loft here today. Ideally, the plan is to go ahead and do a 2-part epoxy in the bottom holes as well as the top holes in the handrails. We'll hammer them in and finesse them as needed. And then what we're gonna do is, for our handrails, we're just gonna take epoxy, put them on the tops, and then we're actually gonna just trim head screw it with some PL Premium straight into the post. We bought some actual handrail anchors, but you gotta have some movement in your post, and actually, if we would have looked at that beforehand, we would have not set the post the way we did. We would have set the post and the handrails at the same time and then had to finesse these in. So we're winging it, but it's working out right now, and I think it's gonna be pretty structurally sound by the time it's all said and done. So stick around and we'll get some balusters in. The tops are going easy because they're rounded, but wouldn't want the bottoms to be rounded.
Yeah, I don't understand that concept either.
We're gonna listen to music now because this part sucks, so enjoy the voiceover.
Yeah, this is the part of the build where the plan didn't survive contact with reality. The loft railing design was centered around these metal balusters running between the newel post. Clean, modern, and simple, at least on paper. Our original plan here was to pre-drill a small 1/2-inch hole in the bullnosing and essentially set the balusters in place from the bottom. No chiseling, just a hammer here. That idea lasted all of about 5 minutes. Once we started test fitting, we realized the squared edges of the balusters weren't playing very nice with the curved holes that we drilled in the bullnosing at all. There was no clean way to seat them without blowing out the edges or making it look sloppy, and neither of those were options. Hence the pivot we dealt with by chiseling every one of them. You know, it's actually funny. There's these weird moments in every project where me and Tanner realize, okay, this just got harder than what it was supposed to be, and this right here was ours. At this point, we had two options. We either rushed it because we were frustrated, or we slowed down, accepted it, and we did it the right way. And honestly, that's been a big theme with this whole build, this whole legacy we've been trying to build. No one's going to walk in here someday and say, wow, those balusters must have been a pain. But yet, Tanner and I will forever remember this part. We'll always remember the nights, the dust, the hand cramps, and the moments we realized this wasn't going to be fast or glamorous. No one watching this video will ever count these balusters. No one's going to crawl under the railing and inspect the holes, but we will know. And that's kind of how everything we do works. Woodworking, building the house, building the channel. And honestly, I think that's kind of the point here. A lot of what we do, whether it's woodworking, building this home, or building a business, involves doing the unsexy work that no one ever sees because the end result matters more than the shortcuts. So yeah, right now we're just tapping metal bars into holes, but what we're really doing here is finishing something we committed to. We've committed to this build. We've committed to a lot of builds. We're committed to you guys. So yeah, honestly, that's the stuff we're proud of. Commitment is showing up when the plan changes, when it takes longer, when the easy part turns into the longest part. And honestly, that's what Kingcraft is about. Not perfection, not pretending we have it all figured out, just commitment to the process and finishing what we start. So let me tell you, if you're the kind of person that appreciates that, if you like seeing the process through, or even if it gets messy, hit that like, subscribe, and go ahead and stick around with us. Because we've got a lot more ahead, a lot more planned, and we're committed to seeing it all the way through. Now let's get back to this build.
I don't think it'll be too viscous. You really didn't get much in some of these.
Be my guest, put your caulking to the test. And some of these. Dick.
I'll start on my end.
Okay.
Once all the balusters were set, the real moment of truth was the handrail. This piece ties everything together literally, and there's zero forgiveness with it. The rail had to drop in cleanly over the tops of all the balusters, line up perfectly between each newel post, and sit dead straight from end to end. This part of the build was a lot of slow lowering, side-eyeing each other, and saying things like, "Don't move," followed by someone immediately moving. With everything aligned, we locked the rail in place, checking spacing one last time, making sure nothing twisted or drifted, and finally seeing the whole system come together as one piece. One loft. After all the prep, all the chiseling, and all 125 balusters being cut, this was the payoff moment right here. Clean lines, solid structure, and a railing that looks simple but was absolutely not. And I mean, like Logan said, sometimes the most satisfying part of the build is knowing no one will ever guess how much work went into making it look that easy.
Rag down there?
Huh?
We got any more rags?
Yeah.
I'd bring a couple.
Why didn't you just throw one down and I'll wet it? You throw like a girl.
What?
No, you throw like a strong, independent woman.
That's how you said.
Alrighty. Wow! This is just great. Wow!
Ready?
As I'll ever be.
What?
What could possibly go wrong? Besides everything.
Alrighty. Last two, huh? Huh?
Somehow. Hey, what the hell's this? What's this? Did you shoot through?
Yeah, you know, on a couple of them I might have, you know? Behind it. You gotta freaking push.
I'm not a lefty.
You know, I really think we outdid ourselves on this one. I really think we did.
I'm really happy with it.
Now, there's a lot of trim carpenters that would probably not agree.
But we're
But
not trim carpenters.
We're furniture makers, for God's sakes.